We are discussing 11 mystical signs you are meant for more than just an ordinary life. Did you ever think that you are really meant for something more? If you have that something inside which is continuously talking to you and that inner voice, hey, you're meant for something more than what you are living today, that's the session for you. And I will be talking about those mystical signs, those codes, which I derived, extracted personally from this powerful card, the Page of Wands in the Tarot world. My name is Yulia. I've been in Tarot world for more than 10 years, and I'm here to extract all the codes from this mystical deck so that we could really come back to our soul. We come back to our soul through the power of symbolism, and tarot cards propose us tremendous possibility for that. You just need to know how to do it. Because if you don't know, you use it only for fortune telling. And then what's the difference between ours in this case and the Little Mermaid who was using the fork just to comb her hair? We're not that different. We can use the power of the cards differently so that we could really establish that clarity and that groundedness with these worlds so that we could take informative decisions in any area of our life. So let's look at this card together, and I would invite you to observe its symbolism, okay? To observe its symbolism, because actually this card and in general the wands, it represents that spirit-led guidance, right? Just like that fiery approach. Our spirit is kind of like having that fiery element in it. So the symbolism here is proposing us to observe this page, this student. In fact, every page is like a student. So the student here stands at the edge of a barren desert. He's not afraid, but he is lit up. He's literally lit up. He is lit up by what he has into his hands. He's kind of like empowered of something new into his hands. Okay, that's what's happening here. So he's ready to explore unfamiliar terrain, guided by soul fire. Now, the mystical sign here is that once you see such a card, and once we observe the symbolism of this card and it's touching our soul, it means we are right now somehow receiving the signs for change. And we are drawn for that change. The unknown doesn't terrify us anymore. It calls us. Okay, so the action step here would be say yes to something this week that you normally hesitate on. The small leap trains your nervous system to trust the fire within. And we start doing one small action at a time, one small action at a time. So this card actually proposes that type of approach, right? So that not to literally just put that inner fire down, we need to do that one small action at a time to keep that fire like lifted up and up and up. Remember, the pathway of 1,000 steps starts only from one step. So we need to understand this through the lens of this card, that whenever we are feeling excited by something unknown, even if it scares us, it means that's the sign that we already get ready to something beyond the ordinary. So that's the step number one. That's the sign number one, which we extract specifically from this card, and it proposes us to always nurture that feeling, that desire for unknown within us. But it's not just like, hey, I start doing crazy stuff. That's not about it, because once we start doing crazy stuff, we kind of like put that earth over our fire. No. We start that one small step at a time, one small step at a time, feeling empowered, developing our passion. So this card proposes that step-by-step approach, in fact, being lit up, mesmerized by what is to come. And that's the sign you're ready for that change. You are ready for something extraordinary in your life. So if you have that inner sensation within you, it means it is about to come. It is about to approach you. Now, second sign, let's look at the symbolism again. So the wands in general, this is the wand on the card. Okay, the ones in general in the tarot cards, for those who are beginners here, so they represent the divine ideas and spiritual messages, like that inner fire. So that inner fire is always lifting us up. Do you see how he's looking up at it? So it's lifting us up. It's not putting us down, it's lifting us up. So the page holds this student, he's called Page. He holds his wand, this stick, right? He holds it like some kind of a stick of initiation. Looking at it like, it's guru, So it's like something like a sacred consecration in the middle of this desert. It's a barren desert, but there is this sacred initiation in this emptiness. So the mystical sign here is that creative ideas, visions, and callings, they arrive fast. They download from your higher self when you develop that sense of reverence within you. You just have to respect that sense within you for something higher than you. Not to kind of make it always logical, That higher self, that's what you need to have respect for. That sense of reverence. That's why, by the way, in India, they have lots and lots of reverence in front of their guru. They really don't make it too logical, and that allows really through that reverence, what I observed when I was in India many times, I observed in those ashrams actually that through that sense of reverence you actually start touching that divine. Just pick the right guru, of course. So, and that's the interesting thing about this. That's another question of discernment. There are lots of gurus whom you just don't want to follow. You need to have discernment. That's another topic of discussion. But I'm just saying the sense of respect and reverence is important to really get those downloads in case if you are at the beginning of that channeling process, at the beginning of something bigger than you, physical you here, you want to have that sense of reverence and respect and literally standing just like this Page student with lots and lots of respect for the divine which is about to download to you. Okay, and that's very, very important. So you kind of have that action step here through the following, creating a divine sparks notebook. Why not? I remember how when I created it, it helped me tremendously well. So you start creating those sparks, like that one sticks notebook. And or you may create the voice memo folder, and every time a wild idea or calling hits you, you capture it immediately. You don't let soul instructions fade. When you start channeling process, connecting with your soul, that's how it's called today in the westernized world, channeling. Okay, so you connect through your soul, you hear that inner voice beyond anything logical. So we are all psychic, in fact. When we are passing through the barrier of our brains, we are passing through the barrier of our brains. Let me show you. So this is the brain, and we are passing through the barrier of the brain. What's happening is we can go directly to our heart, and now we can hear what our heart and intuition and now our willpower center, what they are talking to us truly. We are connected to cosmos through our willpower and our heart, not through our brains, okay? So the brain is really connected to the moon, the closest celestial body to ours, but it's the most deceptive body, okay? So we want to understand what's true, what's really powerful, and that is our heart connected to sun. Sun, by the way, is a much more mature card in the tarot. It's going beyond the moon, the brain. In the very center, it's the heart. It is love beyond everything. It's the sun. Okay? So that's very, very important to understand about the symbolism of this card. And then you actually start that connectedness to your soul, truly trusting what's happening in your heart. But you must bypass that barrier of logical instructions, all the prompts which are in here, which keep diluting you from your inner truth. All right? So you kind of like start receiving sudden bursts of inspirations or visions. I'm about to channel. Well, you are about to start having those downloads of who you truly are. And we collectively start moving in that direction. That's why I'm so joyful about this today. You know, and then the messages is when you kind of like fully trust that process, and those messages, they uplift yourself and they uplift others. They are never like those messages which are about manipulation or greed or something. No, those messages are always about love. They are always about enhancing life about around you, and they're very specific. So when you are truly connecting to your soul, you get very specific messages. So when something is extremely general, it's only the first stages of your connectedness to who you truly are. But the more you get connected, the more specific messages you get. So sometimes you may get those downloads when you never read about this, but then you're just like, oh, it really existed in the history of humanity. So many times you may actually figure it out that way. It's like reverse engineering of those downloads. And then it's just like, it's really true what is downloading. In fact, the less you read here, the better, because the more you read, the more you download here. You can't bypass the logical things. Okay, and the history was always rewritten here with lots of lies. So we just want to get that connectedness first to who we are, and then reverse engineer it to what truly happened. And that's what's happening with all the true channelers, not those who are chattering out of the blue something just to manipulate humans here. So, and that's why today we need to be discerning in this direction. Now, sign number 3. Let's look at the symbolism here. The page, the student, he wears unusual garment. Do you see it? Unusual garment. So we can observe it. Okay? Now, it's the sign he's not bound by any conformity. He's not bound by what people are thinking about him around. He's actually alone. He's not afraid of that loneliness. He's alone in the barren desert. Remember, it's the desert here, okay? Now, what is the mystical sign which we can observe here? Well, you know, whenever you feel like the black sheep, the misfit, the magic one, you are learning to love it. You must learn to love it. So, you know, my mom was always saying to me, I'm like a black sheep, you know. She's like, okay, it doesn't mean I'm complete misfit into life. You know, later on, you will figure out your tribe. You will figure it out. Because do you remember how in the Lion King, Mufasa, when Mufasa was walking with all the outsiders, with Rafiki the monkey, you remember, with his future wife, Sairabi. So they were all outsiders of their tribes, and they were walking to their milele. So you start really identifying your soul family. You are not really alone. It's just a journey. It's a journey to identify your people, okay? And that card invites us to this understanding. You don't fit in, and it's okay. and you are done trying to fit in, you will find your soul family. That's all right. You will. You just need to know it deep inside. And this card invites us to investigate this. And the action step here could be write down 3 ways you felt too much for others. You felt you were pleasing others. Turn each into a soul affirmation. My fire is sacred. My magic isn't meant to be watered down. My fire is here for something. My magic here will be for something good, beautiful, and truthful. And I absolutely know about this. So this card starts leading you in that direction. Okay, so don't kind of like feel that through that misfit, you are just outsider, you're a black sheep, and that's it. No, you will find your soul family. And that is the mystical sign which shows you, if you feel that way, like a black sheep somewhere, like a misfit, you're about to open up some extraordinary life for yourself. You are about, like, you are prepared for that. Now let's continue observing the card. So this page, this student, he doesn't have a map, do you see? And he's in the middle of this desert. So he has just a wand, and he has the trust in this calling. He's staying like this, praying, calling, whatever you call it. Do you see? Observe how he's standing in that utter reverence. So he is leading his way with that respect to that calling, and on some even instinctual level, but not animalistic instinct. That is intuitive level beyond what's in here. So, and this allows us to see that mystical sign through that. You don't have all the answers, and that's all right, okay? But your soul is right now buzzing with momentum, okay? There is so much fire. It's just like, oh, I'm onto something. There is something in that pathway. Even if I don't see all the steps, you are not required to see all the steps already. That's okay. All what you need to see is 1, 2, 3 steps next, and go with the right mentor who can show you the pathway. Just surround yourself with the right people, not with the fools. The worst thing which could happen to Buddha, and it was written, is to surround yourself with the fools. True story, because you become what you are surrounded by. You start hearing those, just low-level, densified thoughts, energies. No. Too much work. So surround yourself with right people, right communities, and like literally release yourself. Like make sure that you remove yourself from everything what is toxic, what is not serving you, what is not making you happy. Wait, Yulia, but my family members, they actually make me every time feeling bad about myself. Well, in this case, I was in the same situation. What I've done, I actually tried the first thing with love. Didn't help? Distance, or increase this distance and make the frequency of communication just short. Like if it is like you were communicating every day, make it like every other day, or then make it even every like once per 3 days or once per 4 days, and just do it gradual, but make that distance bigger. You will start seeing changes and start that reflection within. Okay, so that is the gradual process for coming back to who you truly are. Let's observe this card even more. So you kind of like feel a fire rising, and that fire is rising just like this wand. And if you are feeling that fire rising, but you don't know where it's leading yet, that's totally okay. You are not required here to know all the answers. Even if it's feeling like you are lost, you are standing in the middle of this barren desert, like our student is standing here. He's standing with lots and lots of reverence and respect to something beyond him, you see? So your action step here as a student is to let go of needing to know everything exact and specific. So once we are letting it go, we becoming like that Page of Wands, and just take the next inspired step, no matter how small it is. So soul paths, they start kind of like when you start even that channeling process, connectedness to who you are. This soul pathway, once you just make that first acquaintance with your soul, it opens up as you move. Okay, and you have that deep trust. Your Sahasrara chakra, it opens up through your trust to that inner intuitive guidance. Okay, so listen attentively. I'm just opening you up how to literally start channeling true messages and not something manipulative from the moon, which is connected to our brain. Okay, like I met some channelers here, they say, no, I never trust. Well, what can you channel then? I'm sorry. I only merge. What do you merge with? With this? All right, something from the moon or someone else, some form is doing something with you. That's not it. It's some manipulative things. So you want to just understand how to even discern those messages, because this thing may only pretend that something is coming through you. You must always distinguish and discern if it is something coming from your heart or from the moon, from the brain, deceptive nature in the brain. That's why we have so many charlatans here who are just so-called channeling. Well, in reality, that's not channeling. They are victims of this, I tell you. So just like lots of compassion to those people, but you just don't judge them. You in fact develop that level of compassion and never go under their spell, because they need to learn their lessons as well. So what we are doing here, we want to hear the true messaging from the heart, which is connected to the sun center. And it's always uplifting. It always creates that respect to our surrounding, to who is around us, to life in general. It never says, go and judge and kill and battle. It's never saying those things. It's never judging by definition. And it's just making us as better human beings. What is truly good, beautiful, and amazing. That's what it is. And it's so loving. It's so compassionate to absolutely everyone here. So sign number 5. Let's look at this card again. So the Page of Wands, it represents early initiations into the mystical arts. It's in fact, if you get drawn to astrology, tarot, rituals, energy work, it's a sign. It's a sign something is about to step into your life, because you use those tools. And I am the leader of my Tarot Academy, which I created because specifically you start using those tools to connect to your intuition. I find like tarot a fascinating tool, by the way, but you can use astrology, you can use energy work, whatever leads you to that initiation and connectedness with your soul to seeing clearly, just use it. Find someone who speaks or resonates to you, speaks to your gods, not to this, all right? Okay, so let's look at it again. So the mystical sign, what we see here is you may feel magnetized to signs, synchronicities, angel numbers, secret geometry, or I don't know, some consecrations, rituals, or divination, I don't know, some kind of rituals, whatever. It is divination, it's something what we start kind of like being mesmerized, becoming like small magicians, but divination is a very low level. We start connectedness to who we truly are, understanding we are beyond time. We are beyond time doing the right thing at the right time. Here, we go to the center, because guess what? You want to step outside, of this periphery, which is called karma. And karma is acting together with time. It's acting together with it. So we want to step outside of it to the center. That's what we are doing through the power of tarot, to centralize ourselves and pick the right direction, seeing all the possible solutions from the center. So that's what we are using tarot, that's what we are using astrology in a proper way, not to divinate. Divination is a very low level. Superhuman is a very low level. Being human is amazing, is super. That's what I'm saying. And that is what you want to just understand once you reunite your body with that awakening process with who you are. Okay? So, and if we are kind of like feeling that we do not feel life in ours and it's like going through our fingers, like we get aging and aging even more, that's death. De-atma is happening in ours, because you see, death, it's de-atma. Atma is soul. So we come back to our atma by re-educating those simple truths. Who we are. We reunite with our soul, we re-educate ourselves, and we pass it by to the next generations. That's what we are here for as humans, as women specifically, because we will affect our children here, our future men, and our future women here, okay? So, in fact, the action step here will be to choose one mystical tool. Either it is some energy work, some tarot, astrology, whatever you choose, just choose it and get mesmerized by it. Deepen into it, just like these guys deepening into his wand. Have reverence and respect, study it properly. So choose it and deepen into it with the right mantra. And connect to your intuition through it. Let it be a bridge between your intuition and your next breakthrough. So you don't use those tools just for immediate release. You use those tools to recognize who you are. How is that? So if you don't use those tools correctly, then you may go under spell of certain magicians here, and then it may deviate you even more into the desert without nurturing and water, because they keep taking from you life. Now, you don't want that, because the less energy you feel, this is the wrong direction. You want to come back with clarity to who you are. Only the right mentor can help you in connecting to who you are and uplift you there. And you use the cards, you use the astrology tools, you use energy work, you use it in combo with the right teacher. That's very, very important. If there is the wrong teacher there, nothing will help. It will only put your energy down. So this simple rule, if that teacher brings your energy down, immediate no. Okay, so don't try to make it logical. You want just to pass by that bridge of logical thinking. You want to watch your energy, and that's the card of learning to work with your energy. Okay, so sign number 6. Let's observe the symbolism here. So this page, he actually thrives. He thrives in this wild open space. Not in predictable system like our cities. Oh, interesting. Wild student, okay? He needs soul expression, but not structure. So he needs that soul expression in that space. Because once we don't have space, soul expression, hard to express. We don't feel that connectedness to who we truly are. So the mystical sign here is, in case if you feel slightly trapped, let's say in the 9 to 5, surface conversations will start boring you. You crave some real, raw, authentic conversations. Okay? I know what it is, because I was in 9 to 5 for a while, for 10 years. And it was already, beyond pain how I was feeling there. I was feeling extreme pain by all this boredom there and by all the toxic environment where I was at that moment. So it took me like that pain, that team took me out of there. I had to do those action steps to really start building that sacred spiritual business where I am today. And today, Calmoura, where I am, is thriving. So I just want to pay attention to you and make you understand how sometimes pain is a wonderful tool for us. It creates, like you see, that stick. It lifts us up. So if you experience that pain right now or that suffocation, so it is a sign something extraordinary is waiting for you. And the action step here may be create a sacred space in your day, even 20 minutes, where you do something extraordinary. And what can be extraordinary? If, let's say, something what makes you happy. What a wonderful activity. So for me, it's meditation. Maybe you can eat a bit of chocolate. Maybe you can channel and allow those downloads to come to you. Maybe you can dance. Maybe you can sing. Whatever makes you swirl joyfully. How is that? Maybe you can go to a walk into nature. Whatever. Maybe you can play with a child. Maybe you can buy a gift and give it to someone in your community. Who cares? Okay, so whatever makes you happy. And that space becomes your personal temple. That's how you start growing that sacredness, nurturing that sacredness around. You become that sacredness yourself. Okay, because truly, when we re-educate ourselves to the center from the periphery of that hustle, and even just like, that side hustle, it's not side hustle. Side hustle, that spiritual connectedness. It's when it's all flowing. I'm not here to hustle. It's enough to hustle. You're hustling here. You want to come back to what is centered, see the right solution, and just move forward. Okay, so, and that is called extraordinary life, not ordinary. Ordinary life is side hustle and hustling. This is extraordinary life when you experience kind of like that fire, that empowerment, and that wonder in ordinary environment. Wow. You experience that sacredness and you create it. You create it as a temple. All right, so let's look sign number 7. So this page carries a wand, right? So this stick is a wand. It's a wand. But if we observe it thoroughly, what do you see here? We see here that this stick reminds us like his destiny. It's a sign he's been given a sacred task. Even if he doesn't fully understand it yet, that's okay. Once we get awakened, we start receiving tasks. We stop really hustling on the periphery. It's a weird concept, I understand, because this was taught to have desires, to fulfill them, to always kind of like perform. But when you get connected truly to your soul, you are already complete. You don't need to fulfill and perform to be complete. You are enough by definition. And then you step into this, you descend into this physical world to fulfill the assignment. Whatever the assignment is, you fulfill it joyfully. You stop being bothered by what is or not is happening. You fulfill here assignment with that sacred reverence, respect, okay? And that's when sanity steps into your life. That's how peaceful you are. Because if you are always in chasing of certain desires, what's happening in reality, you are in continuous race. You are always incomplete. You are never enough. How comfortable it is for those marketers here. How comfortable it is. Oh. But, when you get connected to who you are, you start really seeing what is here to be done. And you start doing the work properly. You release yourself from all the overconsumption, from all the kind of like imposing ideas that you need more. You start doing the right things. All right? You start doing the right things. And those right things are always about helping humanity, helping people who are around you. That's why on the soul level, we continuously feel it. We feel it. That's the right thing to do that impact here. Okay? So it's kind of like the destiny for humans. That's the destiny for us. That's why he's holding that wound of destiny here. And I want you to observe with which reverence and respect he's holding it. It's a sign he's been given that sacred task. It is sacred. It's like really some consecration. And the mystical sign here, you hear it in everything. You hear it in your dreams. You feel it in your guts. Your life, you feel it. It has a mission. Even if you don't know what it is, but you feel it, okay? And that's a really great thing. You start feeling it. You know, many here are living, they don't even feel it. Well, that's a life. That's one part of life. But if you started feeling it, that's another way of living, all right? And that way of living invites you to that consciousness and to those action steps. Like, for example, asking your soul, what is ready to come through me? So just ask your soul, what is ready to come through me? Then sit down with any kind of ritualistic thing. It may be a candle, whatever, journaling, whatever works for you. Just sit down with that sense of respect and reverence, just like this student is staying here, and just start that free writing, free flowing, maybe free dancing, whatever, free activity. Okay? So, and that is kind of like the activity, which is a no filter activity. Let your knowing, that your inner wisdom start rising through you through that no filter activity. How is that? No filtering, you just start inviting that sacred knowledge into you. And that is really extremely powerful. I'm just showing you all the secrets how to reconnect with your soul, not truly being on the periphery of that karmic cycle, but really jump into that centeredness. I'm coming from Siberia initially, and I was raised among shamans. So I just really understand truly how to get connected to your nature and how to stop that cycling, that circling, you know? So how to really be present. It's not just coming to me out of the blue. I am here just to transfer you that knowledge, and that connectedness to your soul center comes through continuous practice of your attention, that you are more than just your brain. That's the biggest lie which was told to us here. Okay, so let's keep on observing the symbolism of this card and deriving, extracting the symbols here of those mystical signs. So this page of wands, this student who is standing in front of you, he's connected to which kind of element? Fire, because wands, it's fire. It's the representation of fire. The wands may be fire down to ashes. Okay, so that's the representation. That's the easy way, by the way, to remember for those of you who are in tarot world, who are beginners, how to really remember that wands are fire. Well, wands, they may get burned easily. They represent that fiery nature. They may get burned down to ashes easily. Okay, he's also standing in this desert, barren desert. Okay, and there are, on some level, we don't feel the winds, but they may occur in here. I just feel that freshness at the same time. There is that desert, but there is lots of freshness here. So it might be that here and there are fresh winds still in this desert, you know? So the mystical sign here, you may feel recharged in wild places. If you feel recharged in wild places, you're about to open something extraordinary. We were raised here with imposed beliefs. We are safe only in the city. And that's the place where we are. We are city girls. We are city boys. We are city people. No, we are wild in our nature initially. So once you start really feeling yourself comfortable in nature, that's the sign. That's the sign for something extraordinary for you to come. So you kind of become that wise man, wise woman. You go to nature to recharge, all right? So, and that's very important. So you want just to start seeing that calling to wildness. And the action step here, you do one elemental ritual, let's say this week. And how to do that? Let's observe this card. So you may kind of like, maybe observe the candle, watch the fire in the candle, just look at it. What you can do, you may walk barefoot, you may speak to water, stand in the wind, let nature awaken your inner mystic. How is that? So if you are living, let's say, somewhere close to water, just stand like this, open yourself like that, stand in front of it. If you're living like those lucky ones somewhere close to the oceans, let that ocean flow like that. That wind from the ocean go through you. That's the cleanse. That's a real cleanse. If you are like living somewhere in the city, just use the candle. Watch the fire. If you are drawn to water, just put something into some bucket and watch the water. Play with it. It's the element. Play with water. Take the cup. Play with that. How is that? So maybe you go to Mother Nature and there are winds. Enjoy. I remember when I had my awakening process, there was a thunderstorm and I was just like, gosh, I was always afraid of thunder, but now I'm enjoying it. Wild, right? So that is crazy what's happening once you start that awakening process within you, because that wilderness, it starts opening up. In you start feeling life, that sensitivity in you starts raising. So, and then you start feeling life on a new level. So I remember that blitz, actually. I was always hiding from the blitz, but then I was observing the blitz and it's so beautiful. It's so tremendously beautiful. So it's just something to observe in ours, what we are afraid of from the elemental perspective and what we get drawn to from elemental perspective. So when you feel deeply connected to wild nature or the elements, it's a sign for something extraordinary to come into your life. Let's keep observing this picture. So many times here, did you notice we are wired? It's not your fault. We are wired to play safe. Well, this thing is wired for generations, thousands of years to play safe, okay? It's wired that way. It's not your fault. Just understand it. Our great fathers are here to blame on some level. But even they are victims of a certain kind of like system which is recurring. Again and again, something what is their will in us, their will in us from our own power, center. So once we understand it, we become compassionate to ourselves and others. Everyone is that way. Everyone here is safety driven on some level, and that's all right. Once we acknowledge it, we can work with this. All right? So you see how he's standing in that loneliness. He is not safety driven. He's not safety driven anymore. And he doesn't have any armor there to hide himself from wild animals. He has courage. Do you see? And he's standing still. He risks failure in service of feeling alive. Oh my God, feeling alive. When we actually pursued only safety here, oh, what if? Well, you know, we pursue safety. We are like feeding that stinking corpse. Because we keep feeding yesterday. We keep feeding all what is yesterday. What worked for us yesterday. We don't face reality. Or we feed future and our anxiety develops. What if? I'm so afraid. But we don't see what's in front of us. Wait, what's in front of me? How do I deal with this? I'm never in the present. Well, guess what? This guy is in the present. He's not feeding the living corpse, which is so-called living. In the Bible, it was said, leave the dead with the dead. Follow me. There was a big meaning in that phrase. Do you remember that story? If you don't remember, just read it. So, leave the dead with the dead means literally this. Stop feeding your past. Stop it immediately. Face what is in front of you and just do the necessary. Stop feeding your future as well. It's also dead. It doesn't exist. Your future will open up based on what you do today. Okay? If you understand it, you will understand that it's unsafe to feed yesterday and it's unsafe to feed future. What is really safe to stand on the ground firm, to reflect on the past, of course, course correct, develop a proper planning, but never have fears, anxieties about future, and never get whining and grieving about the past. How much can we do it? And feed the stinking corpse. Remember, feeding the stinking corpse will not release him from stinking. He will become even more stinking. It's not possible that corpse will get alive. It's the most futile activity ever. So once we understand it, we can come back to our present moment, because that's actually the safest thing to do. Everything what distracts us from that present moment actually brings us into unsafety. And I am not here to go to that unsafety. I'm a safety girl, actually. I love safety, and that safety is developing from facing what is in front of me. Not what will happen, who knows when, and I'm not sure if it will happen. Not if I am grieving over what has already passed. I want to see what's in front of me. I reflected once on all what happened, learned the lessons. Now I build my plans to attain my goals. How is that? So that's how you stop that kind of like shrinking inside your reality and start uplifting yourself continuously. That's how you come back to that center from the periphery. How is that? And you are never upset to be alone. So you kind of like done shrinking. You'd rather fail at something you love than succeed at something that kills your soul. And that's becoming your motto. Because no matter how much they pay you in those corporations, whatever, if it starts killing your soul in some toxic environment and it's already too much, it's time to change. Time to change, I tell you, because the more you stand there, the more you stay there, the more it will be killing your soul. So and you want to just choose the right mentor for that change, the right people, the right support, knowing that you will still do that pivot, okay? Trusting yourself in that. So I've done that leap myself more than 10 years ago. I changed my 9 to 5 to building my spiritual business, and that's where I am today, leading a really successful business, and I'm thriving in it. I really love it. I love what I'm doing. I love my clients. I love my space. So when you just understand that everything is possible and there are many around you who proved it right, why not to start developing that trust? How is that? So let's keep observing this card. Symbol number 10. So one's messages in general, for those of you who are first time into tarot, they are from spirit because they connect us to fire. Spirit is fiery. Oh, so spirit, like, he asks us to be like students. And this page, this guy on this card, he's student, his page. He's student of those messages, always listening, always being in reverence, okay? So the mystical sign here, you overhear words that speak to you. Books full of shelves. Tarot cards repeat. You know, it's not random. You keep seeing angel numbers, whatever. So these are the signs. Something extraordinary is to knock, knock into your door. Okay, so, and the action step here can be each day ask the universe, show me what I need to hear today. Listen attentively. Show me and trust. Show me what I need to hear today. Then be open. Be open and be in that sense of reverence and respect. How this guy is standing here. He's in that sense of reverence, respect. So you say, show me, and then you document whatever comes to you. Document, do not trust your memory, okay? So let's observe the last sign, the last mystical sign. So this page is the beginning of mastery. He's not yet master. He may be young, but his passion is ancient. He is patient and his passion is ancient. Do you see? So I had even this term, patient. It's passion ancient. Do you see? So the mystical sign here can be, no matter what you've done, something deeper is still rising. And the bigger the work will be for you, the more there will be preparation for you. Okay, so you just need to understand not all the signs will be shown up immediately. So you want to have the same respect and reverence like these guys have in here, and you want to affirm it out loud. Let's do it together. I'm not behind. I am awakening, and my extraordinary path is about to begin now. How is that? So when you just claim it, just listen, it's reverberation within you. Just listen. Listen to it. Allow to enter it inside you. And just let it do its work. Even if you don't see all the pathway now, that's okay. Sit still. All right? So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this wonderful session, and now you are fully equipped with all the signs which show to you how to identify if you're about to step into the extraordinary life and what to do with each sign. I gave you small exercises. If you want to come back, please re-listen this video. There are small exercises for each sign. So if you loved this video, give me a thumbs up. It really supports me to come back here to you because I see that interest. And I'm coming here not every day, so if you want to stay connected, let's stay connected. For this, you want to subscribe to the channel, in this case, to get those notifications. Thank you so much, beautiful souls. Let me see if you have any questions here. Okay, I don't see you have any questions, guys, but if you have, type me in the comments. I will make sure that I will respond. And I would enjoy if you also can have some questions along the way. I'm here to answer them anyway, so use that opportunity when we go live together. Blessings to you for this coming evening, and hope they served you well.